Hola amigos y amigas, you're listening to the English Made Simple show. This is episode number 334, number 334, número 334. Welcome back amigos y amigas, welcome back. It's your host, Milena from EnglishMadeSimple.net, here with another episode of the English Made Simple show. Today's episode is full of Aussie flavor. We're going to talk about a very Australian word you might hear at work in Australia if you're in Australia. The word is smoko. Yep, that's a real word, guys. If you've never heard it before, don't worry. By the end of this episode, you'll not only understand what it means, but you'll also be able to use it like a true Aussie. This is if you're living in Australia. I'm going to explain to you what this means for those of you who live in the US or the UK, okay? So what is smoko? The word smoko comes from smoke break, as in a short break someone takes to have a cigarette or just relax for a few minutes. But in Aussie English, smoko doesn't necessarily mean someone is going to smoke. In fact, most people use it to mean a short break during work, often for coffee, snacks, or just to sit down and rest. It's just a short break. And here's something interesting. Smoko is mostly used in Australia and New Zealand. So if you're in New Zealand, listening from New Zealand, you've probably heard this word in New Zealand as well. So it's not common in the UK or the US. So if you say smoko in London or New York, people might give you a strange look. But in Aussie workplace or Australian workplace, everyone knows what it means. Let's say you're working on a construction site with my imaginary friends Anna and Carlos. I keep bringing them in. It's much easier to use examples with my imaginary friends. Let's say you're working on a construction site with Anna and Carlos. Carlos looks tired and says, "Mate, I'm gonna take a smoko." This doesn't mean Carlos is going to light a cigarette. He might just go sit down, drink a coffee, and scroll on his phone for 10 minutes. Or listen to this episode for 10 minutes. Okay? You can do this on your smoko break. And if Anna replies, she could reply, "Sweet as, I'll join you for smoko." She's saying, "Great, I'll come too." Does it all make sense, amigos y amigas? Hopefully this makes sense. Smoko is super common in, let's say, construction or tradie type of jobs. If you're working in warehouse or manufacturing type of jobs, even some relaxed office jobs, you could hear people use it, especially in regional areas if you live in Australia. In fact, some Aussie companies schedule smoko breaks into the day, usually around 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. It's like a tea time, a snack time, 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. You have a 15-minute break, 10 to 15-minute break. Now, I remember when I first moved to Australia and someone said, "Let's go for smoko." I was so confused. I thought, no, thank you. I don't smoke. But then I realized it's just the Aussie way of saying, let's take a break. Now, sometimes I catch myself saying, I need a smoko, even when I just mean I want to go eat a muffin, stuff my face with muffin, stare out the window for a bit, or people watch. All right. So here are a couple of other Aussie slang terms you might hear at work. These are very common, amigos y amigas. So if you're listening from Australia, this will be really helpful. If you're not listening from Australia, you're somewhere else, you can still use these words and confuse other people, all right? Okay, so I'm just going to share 3 slang words that you might hear if you're in Australia. Arvo is short for afternoon. Let's catch up this arvo. Let's go for brekkie. Brekkie is breakfast. I had a big brekkie before work. And the last one, very common to hear in Australian workplaces, is a sickie. To chuck a sickie, a sick day. I reckon Carlos is chucking a sickie today. Okay. That means he's probably pretending to be sick. Naughty Carlos. Okay, amigos y amigas. let's practice some of these Aussie phrases together. I'll say each phrase slowly and you can repeat after me, okay? So number 1, you can say, I'm going for a smoko. I'm going for a smoko. Number 2 is, let's catch up this arvo. Let's catch up this arvo. Carlos is chucking a siki again. Carlos is chucking a siki again. Okay, to chuck a siki. Okay, this word chuck might confuse some people. It is an informal way to say to throw something, to chuck something out. But in this case, it's used as a slang to chuck a siki. Carlos is chucking a siki. Nice one, amigos. If you're planning to work or live in Australia or even New Zealand, learning local slang like this will help you feel more confident and more connected. If you want to learn with me and practice real-world English, visit englishmadesimple.net/learnwithme. We'll make Aussie English feel simple and fun, I hope. And that's the end of today's episode. You've been jamming with Milena. Keep practicing, amigos y amigas. Stay cool. Keep in touch. Until next time, hasta la próxima.